How you guys doing this morning? It's Kevin. We're going to work on I'm going to build another bench here, workbench. And I started working with some wood, and I need a little bench to work on so I could just put my wood saws and sanders and stuff on it, so we could work on it a little bit too, but not much. But anyhow, I never claimed to be a carpenter or anything, and I never really claimed to work with wood, but we're gonna give it a shot and see how we could do with it. I'm gonna build this workbench here, and I want it to hold my small bandsaw, a scroll saw, and maybe a sander on here. But I'd also like to work on it a little bit, so we'll have to figure that out as we go. So what I've gotten so far is just the bottom frame. I wasn't going to do this on video, but because I know I'm not good at it, and I know I'll do things wrong. So this is what I got so far. It's just a square frame, and this is the bottom. I will be putting casters on the bottom of this so I can move it around in my garage. I have a small garage, so everything has to be compact and to be able to move out of the way in case I need in here with a vehicle or something. So let's see how it goes. Right now I'm working on a couple of these uprights. This is going to be for the top of the bench. We're going to cut 4 of these and get them put in there. Okay, we got all of our boards cut now. We have all of our boards cut, and I want to put them in this corner. And I'm just going to show you my way of putting them in there, the way I would put them in there. I don't know how somebody else would, but like I said, I'm not a carpenter. But me, myself, I like to put a little bit of glue on here. And this is that liquid nail. And I'll put a little bit on there. Shove this thing in the corner here. And I'll set a square on here, a little speed square, try to get these legs as square as I can, and throw a couple screws down in here. Now, I'm just using a drywall screw. I don't know if that's the kind you want in there, but anyhow, that's what I'm putting in. I just want to make sure that the legs are good and square. You know what I could have done is I could have put a clamp on there and got it square. Once I got it square, and then drill it in. That way the square will, or at least the clamp will hold it there until I can get my screw in there tight. Like I said, I'm not real good at the woodworking. And that does look pretty square, and with the clamp in there, it's going to make it a little easier for me to get the next screw in, you know. Alright. That's 1 down and 3 more to go. So we'll get all of these on, and then we'll bring you guys back. Alright, we got these 4 glued on, and they're screwed and glued on. So now we're going to work on the a 2x4 to go around the top. So we'll do the same with that. We'll cut them the same size as these down here, and then we'll glue them on there and screw them on there just the same as the bottom. So we'll get these all cut and get them put on there. Okay, we have all 4 of the bottom to go all the way around this. We have all 4 pieces to go around this. So we're going to go ahead and just clamp them on here. We put some glue in there. And we're going to go ahead and drill these in, and we'll go from there. Okay, I actually put a couple extra boards in here, and somebody's going to wonder, why would you put so many boards in there? Most of this wood I'm trying to use is scrap. I mean, this is not scrap. I bought this, but anyhow, a lot of this I had in the barn, and it was too short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it to where I can put a 2x4 down this side, a 2x4 down this side, have a big heavy top on this bench. So that's why the inside is like that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to mount this board on, but what I want to do is I want to cut a notch in this across, and I want to have a shelf. I'm going to have like a workbench I can pull out of the inside of this. So I'll have extra space for working. Have our saws on the top, and then have us a couple little workbenches. There's going to be one on that side over there that folds out. So we'll have two of them on this. Okay, we got a good bit done here. We actually put the board inside here. When we said we had the boards in the barn that were a little short, so we're going to throw a 2x4 in here, 2x4 here, and then we got 2x6s to go across the top. So it's going to give us a good heavy top. Now we're starting to put in our little shelf. I got pretty much the shelf is all done. So it's going to be able to slide out and have a little workbench out here. I'll try to give you a close-up of what I got in here. I put a board right here so the table would rest here, and a couple guides just to keep it centered up. It's a little bit bigger, but this kind of centers it up so it goes in and out. We cut 2 slots in here. We also cut down on this right here. We cut this down so that little shelf will go inside. And then we did the same thing over here. We'll show you the shelf. Okay, here's the shelf that'll go inside there, and I cut them slots, and I cut these, put a couple boards on the bottom here and one out the front. That way it can slide back inside of that shelf. So this will be hidden inside of here. When we want this shelf, we'll just be able to slide it out, and it'll have a stopper on it where it'll stop, and then you'll have extra work area. And you know you can always use a little bit of extra work area. So we got this one done. We're going to go ahead and start working on I'll probably put the sides on it first, because we're going to use a 1x. I have some old 1x's up in the barn. We're going to cut them up. They're just old recycled wood we had taken from somewhere else. And we're going to do all the sides, and we'll put the bottom in there. We're going to put one shelf down inside of here. And we'll get the sides put on it right now. Okay, all this is just recycled wood. This is old wood that we had picked up. Somebody had thrown away, so it's looking okay. So we'll sand it down. We'll make it look nice anyhow. And it ain't got to be perfect because it's just an old workbench. So I am gluing each one of these and nailing them. So we don't want them to come apart. This thing should last forever. Okay, all of our sides are on. As you can see, we got some different types of lumber here. It's not all the same type, but we don't care. But we got them all on, but that front side over there, and we got to get a bottom in here. I want to put one shelf, and then the floor. I want to put the floor in it. But other than that, that's all we have left to do. I'll show you what I have in here. All right, the only thing we got left is we got to do the floor in this thing, and we're going to put a couple boards across in here, and I want a shelf, but I want the shelf to be back a little bit because I want to be able to reach everything in the back of this shelf. So I have like a 1x12 or something. I was going to cut a couple 2x2s and put them in there, and then I'll just put a shelf in there. And like I said, this is just a work bench. We're going to mount some tools on the top of it, and then we'll have a couple little flip out tables that we can use off the sides of this. That way we'll have more room to work, because my counter space is not very much. So we still got to put something along here. I'm not going to do too much. I'll probably just cut a strip and put here, and cut a strip and put down there to cover up whatever boards we put in the bottom. So probably going to work on this bottom right now and get it finished up and get that shelf in there, and then we'll put our 2 strips on the front and start on our top. Okay, you can see we got the floor in there. All it is old pallet wood. It didn't cost us nothing, so we put some old pallet wood in there. We still got to put a piece of wood down here and a piece up here. Cut kind of running out of wood, but I'm going to look through that pile of wood and see if I can find one for here and up here and get it on there, and then we'll get our little shelf in the back here, which I think will just be a couple of 2x2s on the sides with a nice piece of wood cut for the inside of it. Okay, we got our little shelf in here. We put a couple boards, just small boards in here, and we got us a shelf back in here. Now, I tried to make it to where I can move this thing. I put it to where I can move it in and out, and you can actually bring it right out to the front. It's a little tough, but it's just, you can put it out here, or you can shove it all the way back in the back and get your stuff out of your way, you know what I mean? So that's the way I want it to move in there, so I can stick stuff back here, or I can pull it out a little bit, you know, where I can reach the stuff on the top there. So we got all this done. All we got to do now is we're going to work on our top, but I think what I'm going to do is flip it over and put the casters on it. I got some pretty good casters there I'm going to put on the bottom of this, and that way I can move it around inside the garage here. Alright, we got the top screwed down. Now we got a few different types of lumber, but it is all used, most of it's recycled lumber. And here's our little extra bench, or extra table. We can sit here and work if you want to draw, or you want to burn something in a piece of wood. It's light duty, but it works fine. It'll work fine. Then we got our little shelf down in there that slides back and forth. And we got the casters on it now. So I'm going to go ahead and mount the saws up on there and get all the holes and everything for them to be mounted on. So hang in there. Instead of mounting all the tools on the top of this yet, I just went ahead and sanded this down a little bit. And I took a router and went around the edge just to smooth it up, make it look just a little better. And I'm going to put some linseed oil on this. Put a little linseed oil on this. Now, the casters, man, are sweet on this thing. They got locks on the wheels, so you can move this around. And I'll tell you, for as heavy as this bench is, it's pretty heavy, but it's easy to move around. Now, on the back side here, we have, over here on this side, we put this drawer in. You remember this table here. That's like a drawing table. Okay, as you can see on this side, I put this piece here, this little bench here, and it'll slide up like this. I put 3 hinges on here. I put a hinge here, and hinge there. And not one of them is exactly the same, but they're working. That's fine. I'm going to work on a couple metal brackets, a couple triangle brackets here, and I'll show you how I'm going to set them up to hold this thing into place to where we can remove them and take it out of the way, and it'll be able to fold it up and put it away just to save space. That's basically what I need, is all the space I can get, and that's one way I can do more work and save space. Alright, we're going to make this these brackets out of this old roof bolt. We might need another one, but I got quite a few of them out there. It's a little crooked, but we don't care because we're going to use small pieces of it. So we're going to get to chopping it up. And what this thing's going to do, it's going to be like a triangle. You'll be able to drill a couple holes in the backboard here, and one hole up here, and it should hold this piece up good. So we'll get to cutting this stuff up. Alright, these are the brackets we came up with. That's that little roof bolt. I made 2 of them, pretty much identically the same. They're still all rusted up. Weld's still on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drill 2 holes in the board back here and 1 hole on this up here, right up here. And then I'll be able to slide that in, and then that'll rest on that. All the weight will be on these. So we'll get these marked out where we need to drill our holes, what size we need, and get them put in. Alright, we have our holes drilled in here. We put a hole there, and a hole there, and a hole up here, which all these set into place. Now I can take these out, throw them inside the cabinet, and then fold this down. When I'm not using this table here, I can fold it down and I'll save a lot of space. But I'll just, when I want them in there, I just slide them up, slide them in their little hole over here,
Now we have a pretty good sturdy bench. It should be good and sturdy. Decent enough. It's not like we're going to hammer on this thing. We might paint on it. We might do some other little stuff on here, but we're not going to sit on it. Nothing like that. But a couple little brackets like that make it nice. That way I can get rid of them. I can throw them inside. I'd like to have had them on a hinge to where they would flip in, but it's just extra work. And then I'd have to set this out a little bit more in order to have room for this to go back in there. That would be ideal, but kind of in a hurry. I want to get this thing done, so these will work just fine for me. Well, that's what the table looks like with the saws on it. I put them on there. They're not mounted down yet because I want to drill some holes down through the top so all the cords go inside this box, and it'll have one cord that will come out of it, a heavy cord, and it'll be wired up to where this table can run on its own. You only need one cord to run to it. As you can see, my wife has already started building stuff. She's making some Easter bunnies here. So I guess I gotta hold off. I gotta get the drill. Now I did put a little bit of linseed oil on this top, and I took a router around the outside edge so it doesn't have a sharp edge on it. Still a little bit of work to do to it. I haven't been feeling too good in the last day or so, so this will probably be the end of this build for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the workbench, and don't forget to subscribe or leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or leave me a message. Thanks for watching. Till next time.